You know, what if a children's book was also this epic adventure? A coming-of-age story and a lesson in ancient wisdom, all told in this really unique poetic form. Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today with Little Steps and the quest for the three symbols. So, at first glance, this looks like a magical fairy tale, right? You've got ancient Egypt, a young hero, mythical creatures, all the stuff you'd expect from a classic adventure. But as we're about to see, this story has layers, and I mean layers of meaning. And the author frames this in such a cool way. It's not just a story he wrote. No, it's presented as this long-lost text unearthed from ancient scrolls. This little intro from the fictional Nile Times immediately gives the whole thing the sense of mystique, like we're all discovering a forgotten piece of history together. So, where does this mysterious quest even begin? Let's dive right into the journey itself. Our hero is a 10-year-old boy named Little Steps, and he's got big ambitions. But he also has this classic internal struggle. He truly believes his own name is holding him back from being great. You know, it's a feeling I think a lot of us can relate to, that sense that we have to overcome something about ourselves to really succeed. And the setting for this story is just incredible. It takes place during the reign of Pharaoh Hatshepsut. She was one of history's very few female pharaohs, and her time was known for peace and prosperity. It's a really smart choice that grounds this fantasy in some very real and very cool history. Of course, no hero's journey is complete without a crew, right? And the friends that Little Steps makes along the way are, well, they're pretty extraordinary. First up, we've got the three friends who join him on the quest. First, we have Red Brick. He's a giant from Thebes, so he's the physical strength of the group, literally giving Little Steps a shoulder to ride on. But more than that, he's that voice that's always pushing him to step up to whatever challenge is in front of him. Then there's Axiom. He's a centaur who's this fantastic mix of pure nonsense and really deep ancient wisdom. His whole job is to challenge Little Steps intellectually, to help him wise up by being his guide and storyteller. And finally, we have Lapis, a young vulture who's on her own journey of self-discovery. Her feathers are always changing tone, and she helps Little Steps get perspective to soar above it all, while at the same time reminding him to stay grounded. Okay, but this isn't just a physical quest for some old artifacts. This is where we really get to the true heart of the story. See, the real journey here is an internal one. It's a timeless coming-of-age story about finding a balance between three essential parts of ourselves: our body, our mind, and our emotions. And this is where the story gets really, really deep. This search for balance is what the three symbols are all about. They're actual ancient Egyptian symbols of power, but in this story they represent something personal. The staff is for the body, the flail is for the mind, and the crook is for the emotions. Little Steps has to bring all three together to find that inner harmony. Now, just when you think you've got this book figured out, there's another twist, and it's all about how it's actually written. The entire epic adventure is told in haiku. You know, that Japanese form of poetry? 3 lines with a 5-7-5 syllable structure. It's such an incredibly creative choice because it forces every single word to count. Just listen to the opening lines. Once upon a time passed but not forgotten, his story begins. The author uses a super disciplined format to create this lyrical, almost magical flow. Imagine an entire adventure told this way. It's constraint that makes the storytelling totally unique. But believe it or not, there is one final secret to this story, and it connects everything we've been talking about right back to the author himself in a pretty fascinating way. So the author uses the pen name Win Real Talisman. It's a memorable name for sure, but there's a secret hidden inside it. What if a name wasn't just a name? What if it was actually a code, a personal mission statement hidden in plain sight? Well, that's exactly what it is. Win Real Talisman is an anagram of the author's real name. He discovered it several years ago and chose it to represent his own personal quest, which was the journey of writing this very book. And in his own words, he explains it perfectly. His goal was to win the hearts and imagination of every reader, or in other words, to win the real talisman. This totally connects his creative journey to Little Steps' quest. It's all about finding something truly precious, and it doesn't even stop there. This personal quest, hidden in his name, became the inspiration for the author's very own logo. Check this out. He translated the anagram into geometry. Win has 3 letters, so it becomes a triangle. Real has 4 letters, so it's a square. And talisman with 8 letters creates an octagon. It's another hidden layer of meaning, a visual symbol of his personal quest. The logo design is reminiscent of the Great Pyramid of Giza, clad in white Chura limestone, resting on a black basalt floor, which brings us right back to the location of the story itself. So when you put it all together, you realize this book is a journey of discovery on every single level. You have Little Steps' quest for balance, our journey as readers through this one-of-a-kind story, and the author's own personal quest to create it in the first place. In the end, the book's message is simple but really profound. Just like its hero, every great journey we decide to take begins with little steps, and it leaves us with one pretty important question to think about. What can you learn from this quest? And one for us all to think about: what is your quest?